Bless Yahweh be in the name of the dear Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Yahweh, Jesus Christ. This is Soldier Donovan with the Battle Axes of the Most High, just come out to bring out some more edification for the nation, man, another Thursday night. Shalom to all the brothers and sisters that will tune in to see this. Shalom, brothers and sisters that's going to see it now. All praise to the Most High, man. The title of this class is going to be Strong in the Lord, Stand on Business. Strong in the Lord, stand on business. Because we know, hey, like I always say, coming into this truth, man, it's a lot of things that we have to change with ourselves, reform, conform to these things, right? Keeping the laws, statute, commandments, doing all the things pleasing to the Most High, doing all these things that the Lord likes and pleases, right? Coming to the truth, we have to learn all these things. But once we learn these things, now we got to stand fast into these things, right? Stand bold as a lion, right? Stand up for what we believe in, right? Matter of fact, I ain't even get this. Precept just hit, man. Before I finish, man, but it's a lot of things that when we come into this truth, we got to conform our ways, man, and we got to be strong in the Lord, right? Back then, we were strong on Christianity. We'd be there every Sunday, right? If it was worse than Islam, everybody could dream about going over there and walk around the damn stone 7 times. But we got to be stronger than the Most High God now. Knowing the things that He gave us and bestowed upon us, all the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of His Bible, we got to stand strong in these things, man. And we're just going to go over a couple precepts of how our forefathers, man, hey, man, this class could have been an easy 2-hour class, man. Next time I do this class, I'm going to add a lot of righteous sisters, because there was a lot of righteous sisters that stood strong in the Lord, man. I was even reading about it before I added it in there. And then we had like Deborah, man, hey, Esther. We had a lot of people that were strong in the Lord, man, strong in the faith. But we're just going to go over a couple brothers, man, that stood bold in the face, man, of adversity. Guess what? They were strong in the Lord, and they stood on business, man. They father's business, man. And we're just going to go over those things, man. First precept we're going to get is Proverbs chapter 28, and we're going to start at verse 4. Proverbs 28 and 4. And shalom, family. Everybody tuning in, man. Shalom. The book of Proverbs chapter 28, verse 4. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Man, it says they that forsake the law praise the wicked. Because guess what? All these people that's wicked in the world, guess what? They going to praise wickedness, man. All the things that's going on in this world, all the damn Sodom, guess what? All the things that we see in modern day Egypt, right? All the things that they did back then, we see it now. And guess what? All the wicked people who ain't keeping no laws, who saying it's okay to do this, okay to do that. It's okay to, guess what? Wear the fringes on your heart. It's okay to, guess what? Worship God any day. Guess what it is? But what's His holy day? Guess what? It's okay not to do these things. Okay, celebrate birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween even coming up. All these things, these are the things they praising the wicked with, right? But it says such as keep the law. Those Israelites, man. Brothers who standing 10 toes bold for the Most High God. Sisters who standing 10 toes bold, man. It says contend with them. Because we the ones that bring out that truth and equity back to the earth, man. To fight for what we stand for. We for the Most High God, and we're going to do our Father's business, man. He said contend for the faith, and that's what we're going to do, man. We know we physically ain't going to do it. We know the precepts. But we know, hey, spiritually, we're going to stand for these things, man. This is what we're going to do. We're going to stand bold for the law, man. Matter of fact, let me get one more. Maybe we weren't even a part of the class, man, but these are just precepts, man. They just got to come out. The book of Jude, chapter 1, we're going to start at verse 3. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. He said, beloved, man, he was talking about us. He said, I give all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation. Man, that's how you know it's talking about us. What's the common salvation? That the Israelites will be saved, man. The 12 tribes, man, that 1/3 and 144,000 who's keeping the laws diligently, man. He said, it was needful for me to write these things unto you, right? And he said, and exhort you by these things. He said that you should earnestly, man, when you earnestly doing something, you putting your all to it. You kind of ain't just, I'll get to it tomorrow. No, man, you earnestly doing it, man. You standing bold for the Most High God, man. Guess what? All the brothers and sisters that's from the tribe of Judah, guess what? You a lion. Guess what? You tall and you bold for the Most High God now. Guess what? You want to be a lion, you want to be a lion's whoop, you want to be big, bad, and all these things. Or you want to call yourself a children of Israel, you got to stand on the Lord's business. The prophets did. Guess what? Even through trials and tribulations, you're going to have to stand earnestly, contend for the faith, man. That's what we're going to get into today, man. Standing bold and standing strong in the Lord. Standing on business, man. If you say something, you mean it. Guess what? If I say, I'm the Father, I'm the Son of the Most High God, I mean that. And I'm going to stand on business on that, right? Because it said that you should earnestly contend for the faith, which was once delivered unto the saints. Who are the saints, man? Psalms 148. Guess what? Psalms 50 and 5, man. These are saints, man. These are the things that we got to do, man, to contend and stand strong for the faith, man. Guess what? Stand strong in the Lord. Do these things that's pleasing in His sight. No more bending over, giving over to all of these things, man. Standing strong and bold in the Lord, man. But let's see how you stand bold. Let's see how you kind of stand strong, man. Precept we always pull. Let's go to 1 Kings, chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 1. Because King David was a mighty man. He stood on business for the Most High God. We're going to get into a little bit of his story later, too. But he charged his son, Solomon, the same thing. He told him what he needed to do to please the Most High God, man. These are the things we got to do to stay strong, man. Not only for ourselves, but for our family, right? These are all the things we're kind of going to cover today. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 2, verse 1. Now the days of David drew nigh, that he should die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying... So when he charged him, guess what? He's commanding him to do these things, man. I'm charging. Guess what? All the things that I've done, I'm charging you to do the same exact things as me, man. He's charging Solomon, right? Verse 2, it says, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. First thing he told him, he said, man, be strong, therefore, man. Because you can show yourself a man, but if you weak and faint, guess what? It's all for naught, man. They always said, be strong, therefore, man. And then show yourself a man. The Most High God wants strong, bold men in His truth, man. Willing to bring out the precepts. Guess what? And guess what? Not only bring them out, but stand on everything that they do, man. We read precepts about our forefathers getting tortured, getting killed, getting maimed. Guess what? Murdered. We read them, but are we going to stand on them things, man? We got sisters reading precepts of how to be modest, how to dress. Guess what? How their foremothers did. But guess what? Are they going to stand on that? Are you going to stand on business? The Most High God had these prophets before us doing these things, but are you going to do it? It's one thing to read them, but it's another thing to act these things out, right? Now he said, I charge you. He said, be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. Verse 3, and said, keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in His ways, to keep His statutes and His commandments and His judgments and His testimonies, as is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself. These are the things that the Most High God put on David's spirit to send to his son Solomon. Guess what? He's charging him with keeping the law, statutes, commandments diligently, right? Being strong, showing himself what a true man needs to be. Standing strong in the Lord. And guess what? He added what his father's business was. What was his father's business? Guess what? We know Psalms 40 and 7. He said, man, hey, you got to keep the same thing that my father did. Guess what? My father, hey, I kept the laws. I kept the statutes. I kept the commandments and His judgments and His testimonies. He kept everything that was written in the law of Moses. He told Solomon, hey, do the same thing. Why? It says that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself. He said, man, whatever you do, you're going to prosper in all your ways as long as you keep these laws, statutes, commandments. As long as you continue to be strong in the Lord, show yourself a man. These are the things that's going to allow you to prosper. And that's kind of what a man is, right? That's all what a man is. Because we know Ecclesiastes, matter of fact. Let me get this real quick. Let's go to Job, chapter 38, real quick. I might get that last, actually. Go to Job real quick, man. The book of Job, chapter 38, and we're going to start at verse 3. Job 38 and 3. It says, gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Man, this is the Most High God telling Job. Man, He said, gird up your loins like a man. Guess what? Because, hey, Job had questions, man. Job asked the Most High couple of these things, man. That's what it said, gird up thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee. That's what the Most High God demands of us, brothers and sisters, to gird up your loins. Guess what, sisters? Gird up y'all skirts like a woman, man. Gird up your loins as a modest woman. Brothers, guard your loins, man, as a strong man in the Lord. It's time to put off that weak nature, man. Guess what? That weak nature, that lustful man, that lustful woman, that sinful man, that sinful woman, all these things is not profitable for the kingdom. And let's stay strong in the Lord now. We see the things that's coming upon us. We see the thing that's going on in Israel right now. We see the things that's going on, you know, the wars, rumors of wars, all these things going on that the Bible speaks of. We see these things coming to fruition, man. We see these things coming to pass. This is the time where we got to stand strong in the Lord right now, man. Captain Yard did a great class, man. Even touched on some of the men that we had back then, men of renown, man. These are some of the things, man. But these are some of the fruits that you need in order to stand strong and bold in the Lord. You need to keep these laws, statutes, commandments, man. He said, gird up your loins like a man. He said, and answer thou me. Because at the end of the day, man, you're going to have to answer to the Most High. You're going to have to answer to his son. You're going to have to answer to the angels whenever this all said and done. So whether you willing to stand strong in the Lord and be bold and contend for the faith, or you're going to be weak and weary and fall off with the 2/3 and wither off. Your fruits will bear no, hey, your trees will bear no fruit. Which one would you rather be? A strong tree or a weak branch? Guess what? A good, strong root or a withered grape, man. Come on now. These are things that we got to see. These are things that we're going to have to do in order to please the Most High. He wants you to stand strong on him, right? Stand bold. These are the things that he wants from us, right? Matter of fact, let me see if I can find this. I just heard this precept today, man. Let's see. Salakia. Yeah. Okay, let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 9. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 2. It says, for I know the forwardness of your mind, for which I boast of you to them of Macedonia. Now we know during the time, this was during the Macedonian. Guess what? When Paul was doing all the walking, guess what? He was going through different places. But he said, I know the forwardness of your mind. He said, for which I boast of you to them of Macedonia. Guess what, man? Paul boasted of the Most High God, man. He made boast of all the things, man. You got to be a bold person. You got to be strong in the Lord in order to boast about something. Because when you boasting about something, you proud to be whatever that is, right? Guess what? A lot of people, they boast about their houses because guess what? They proud in their house, right? They may boast in their cars, boast on the things that they have. But when you make boast of the Most High God, man, you proud to be of something of like that, man. You so content, man. You happy that you got these things, man. You can boast on that all the day long. Not being prideful and puff up about it, but guess what? You can be happy, man. You can stand 10 toes down and say, hey, this is what I make boast of the Most High God, man, day in and day out. That's how you be strong in the Lord, man. This was Paul was doing. Now I'm telling you, man. It says that Achaia was ready a year ago, and your zeal have provoked very many. Guess what, man? Your zeal and your light, man, it's going to provoke a lot. Why? Because they see how strong you are. They see your light. They see how you doing these things, pleasing to the Most High God. And honestly, they don't like it. They don't like seeing sisters in order. They damn sure don't like sisters dressed nowadays. Guess what? They hate to see an Israelite sister. Damn, why she so covered up? They hate to see an Israelite brother. Damn, why is he not cussing me out? Why is he not sagging his pants? Why? What's that on his shirt? They love seeing people being weak and soft, but confess they know God. But it's different but seeing men that's strong in the Lord, women strong in the Lord, and standing on business, man. That's why I added that little subtitle in there, man. Because you got to be strong in the Lord and stand on his business, man. Whatever the Most High God commanded you, that's what you got to do. And you got to stand on that. You can tell somebody all day, Numbers 15 and 38. You can read the precept out, but is you going to stand on business and do the things that the fringes require? Because the fringes come with something, man. They're just not some fringes. They just not some cool that you put on your shirt. It's business that come behind that, man. Calling yourself a child of the Most High, it's business that come behind that. calling Christ your Lord and Savior, guess what? Mashiach Yahushua, it's business that come behind that, man. Guess what? Even dare to let your mouth slip and say you 144,000. It's business behind these things, man. Whether you willing to stand on it or not, it's all there. And it's ready for the taking, man. You just got to work for it. But that's what being strong in the Lord comes with. Doing anything pleasing to the Most High God, man. Let's get into it, man. Let's go to first Maccabees. The first, the first brothers I thought about when they come to standing strong and bold in the Lord was the Maccabees, man. They was tough. They didn't, hey, anything how it came to the Most High God, this is what they did, man. This is exactly how they did. Matter of fact, I wasn't even going to get this, but I'm going to read it. I'm going to go to first Maccabees. I'm going to go to chapter 2. I'm going to go to... I started verse 64. The book of first Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 64. Wherefore, you, my sons, be valiant. Show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall you obtain glory. So guess what, man? This is Mattathias, man. Guess what? Judas Maccabees. He's going to go through and show you all his children. But we know he's finna die, man. He's giving these charges to his sons, man. He said, man, be valiant. He's also telling you to be strong, man. Then he said, and show yourselves men in behalf of the law. Because a lot of people think they men because they got, oh, man, I got money. I own a business. I got all these things. I got car. I got good credit. I got all this. That's what they think a man is nowadays. You might have a little beard on your face. Not even on this commandment, but you call yourself a man. But he said, show yourself a man in behalf of the law. And what was that? Guess what? Leading your household with the scriptures, man. Guess what? Teaching your women with the scriptures, man. Raising up a nation, man. A great and bold nation. Not the things that we was used to in this world. Because you might have stood on business like that. A lot of people say, man, I'm 10 toes down. But guess what? These brothers, and guess what? Mattathias was 10 toes down for the Most High God. And that's how he stood on business, right? It says, for by it shall you obtain glory. Verse 65. And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you. So guess what? He's breaking down the traits of his son. He's giving them the charge. He's telling them, this is what you need to do. This is who you need to listen to, right? He said, Simon, hey, he's a smart man. He gives good counsel. You're going to listen to him always, right? Verse 66. As for Judas Maccabeus, he has been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people. And that's kind of what we're going to be going into today, Judas Maccabees, right? Because guess what? He called his son strong and mighty, right? He going to be the captain of the battle of the fight. But guess what? He never lost sight of the Most High God at all. Simon might have had the brains, and Judas Maccabees might have had the muscle, but they both had the Most High God. That was their real brains and muscles right there, man. These are just different traits. But guess what? The Most High God still overruled and authorized all these things, right? Verse 67, take also unto you all those that observe the law and avenge ye the wrong of your people. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's the difference between standing on business. Like, hey, guess what? When you stand on business, your business builds a corporation. When a corporation, you got to have workers, man. He said, guess what? For you to be the captain and you to be the leader, you're going to teach us and you're going to show us the counsel. He said, you're going to need some workers too, man. You're going to need people that's willing to contend for the faith with you. Guess what? That's why he said, man, take all of those who observe the law and then avenge the wrong of your people. Guess what? That's why you got brothers like Battle Axes, Sakari, WFI, IUIC. You got all these brothers out here, man. Why? Because, hey, they might have a captain or a leader that's probably leading the charge. Man, but you got all these people that's observing the law, going with you to avenge the wrong of your people. The things that we see day in and day out. Guess what? The atrocities that our people have faced, man. Poverty. Guess what? Rape, robbing, murder. All these things that our people have been through in the constant loop and cycle for all these years. You finally got brothers standing back up bold for the Most High God, not only for themselves, and standing on business now, man. And guess what? Now he said, hey, take all of those that be with you, and now y'all go do it. It's one thing to have one person. It's another thing to have 10. Another thing to have 20. But when you got them all that's in order, man, I'm telling you, it's just like 10,000, man. 20,000, man. I'm going to tell you, man, with the Battle Axes, man, it might not have been a lot of us at a point in time. It might not be a lot of us now compared to, bigger camps and stuff like that. But when we're going on the streets, man, we be heard. We're loud. I'm telling you, hey, that's right. Bring it out, all right? Because we standing on business. We understand we doing this for the Most High God. Rain, sleet, or snow, it might be hot. Guess what? We might lose track of it sometimes, but we get back on it, man. We got to stay strong in the Lord. Think of Christ crack that sky right now. Look what we doing. We're standing bold for him. We boasting about him. These are the things we have to do to please the Most High, right? Verse 68, it says, recompense fully the heathen. Guess what, man? He said, give it all back to him, man. Guess what? He said, man, recompense fully, right? And the Most High said, double that, man. Come on now. He said, recompense fully the heathen and take heed to the commandments of the law. Verse 69, so he blessed them and was gathered to his fathers. I'll tell you, man, hey, Matthias, man, he told them some righteous things before he passed, just like King David did. These are the things that we have to do, man. Look at our forefathers of old, how they were strong in the Lord, how they stood on business. And guess what? How they all kept the Most High God in their thoughts always. These are the things that we can never lose sight of, right? Let's jump over to chapter 4. Let's go to verse 28. First Maccabees chapter 4, verse 28. The next year, therefore following, Lysias gathered together 70,000 choice men of foot and 5,000 horsemen that he might subdue them. So guess what? Judas already done won a battle against these people, right? So guess what? When Lysias heard these things, now he was like, okay, I need to bring all my people together. I got to get more people to go against these people. I got to go against Israel. I got to defeat them, right? So now he's trying to gather together more people, right? It's a good read, man. You can start at chapter 4, read on down. Because guess what, man? They told him, matter of fact, I'll just get you a little bit. Let's see. Let's see where I want to start at. Now, I'll just start right. I start at 18. It says, and Goliath and his host are here by us in the mountain, but stand ye now against your enemies and overcome them. And after this, you may boldly take the spoils. So guess what? All these people were camping against Judas and these people. And this is what he commanded them to do, right? And it says, as Judas was yet speaking these words, there appeared a part of them looking out of the mountain, who, when they perceived that the Jews had put their host to flight and were burning the tents, for smoke was seen, declared what was done. So guess what, man? Judas put these people to flight, man. And guess what? He scared these people. Guess what? He fought them off. He did the things that he needed to do, right? Because you jump up to verse 15, verse 10 on down to show you how he had to fight. Verse 15 to show you how much he killed and who he killed, right? And in verse 21, it says, when they perceived these things, they were sore afraid, and seeing also the host of Judas in the plain ready to fight. Because they were standing on business, man. They were strong, man. They were like, man, come on. Show me my opponent, man. Verse 22, they fled everyone into the land of strangers. Then it says, then Judas returned to spoil the tents, where they got much gold and silver and blue silk and purple of sea and great riches. So you jump on down to verse 26. It says, now all the strangers that had escaped came and told Lysias what had happened. So it says Lysias heard these things, right? It says, who, when he had heard thereof, was confounded and discouraged, because neither such things as he would were done unto Israel, nor such things as the king commanded were come to pass. Guess what, man? They made a commandment that they were going to go take Israel, go take them, go do whatever they wanted to them. But the Most High God, guess what, made Judas bold, made all the soldiers bold. Make them stand forth and kill all them damn people. So now when it came back to Lysias, he like, damn, nothing that the king said came to pass. Man, this ain't never happened before, man. Anything the king said, it happened. But guess what? When the Most High God on your team, hey, he make a lot of things of these wicked inventions of the other nations come to seem to not, man. So now we're going to go back. We're going to read back down. We're going to go to verse 28 again. It says, the next year, therefore, following, Lysias gathered together 70,000 choice men of foot and 5,000 horsemen, that he might subdue them. So he said, all right, let me go get some of my folks now. Y'all couldn't handle it. All right, let me go get it, man. Man, I'm telling you, man. He said, all right, let me go get my choice men, right? It says verse 30. No, verse 29. And they came into Idumea. They always gonna go to these damn Edomites, man. And pinched their tents at Bersura. And Judas met with them 10,000 men. So Judas pulled up with his people too. He said, and we saw that mighty army. And when he saw that mighty army, he prayed and said, blessed art thou, O Savior of Israel, who didst quell the violence of the mighty man by the hand of thy servant David. Man, you see how these things go, man. David was a strong, mighty man in the Lord. Guess what? Judas Maccabees is quoting these things, man. That's how you know they read the Old Testament too. This is how you know these things correlate with each other, man. He said, man, the things that you did by your servant David, this is how you know, hey, you read upon how your forefathers standing strong in the Lord, standing bold in the Lord. And guess what? Now you acting these things out. Judas Maccabees was a account of, guess what, his forefather David and how he stood on business. And now look at us now. We reading about Judas Maccabees standing on business. And guess what? It's going to be up to us to do these things. Guess what? For our children to come, for our reputation, right? For the children of Israel to stand on business and stand bold for the Most High God, right? And it says, and gave us the host of strangers into the hands of Jonathan, the son of Saul, and his armor bearer. Shut up this army in the hand of thy people Israel, and let them be confounded in the power and horsemen. Make them to be of no courage, and cause the boldness of their strength to fall away, and let them quake at their destruction. Man, Judas had a mighty prayer, man, to the destruction of his enemies, man. Man, he said, let them be confounded in their power, man. Guess what? They might have a lot of nukes, might have a lot of missiles, might have a lot of things. But he said, let them be confounded in their power, man. They ain't got nothing for a chariot. They damn sure ain't got nothing for Christ when he come back. Isaiah 63:1 on down, you already know what it is, man. It says verse 33, cast them down with the sword of them that love thee, and let all those that know thy name praise thee with thanksgiving, man. It says, so they joined battle, and there were slain of the host of Lysias about 5,000 men. Even before them that were slain, even before them were they slain. I'm telling you, man, that's crazy. They killed 5,000 of them, man. Verse 35, now when Lysias saw his army put to flight and the manliness of Judas' soldiers. I'm going to stop right there, man. He said Lysias seen his army getting put to flight. And then he said, they seen the manliness of Judas' soldiers, man. You can't see the manliness of a weak man, man. You can't. He said, man, you seen the manliness of these soldiers, man. Standing bold standing bold, man. Strong in the Lord, standing on business, man. It's one thing to look bold, but guess what? They was looking bold and they was doing bold things, man. The boldest thing you could ever do is contend for the faith of the Most High God, man. That's the boldest thing any brother or sister can do. Why? Because the world is so much against it. Guess what? It's just like fighting these wars now, man. We got spiritual battles each and every day. Come on now. You got to show your manliness, man. Show your womanliness. I don't even know if that's a word, man. Show your godliness. How about that? Show these things to the Most High God, man. Verse 35 again, man. It said, now when Lysias saw his army put to flight and the manliness of Judas' soldiers and how they were ready either to live or die valiantly, man. That's how bold you got to be, man. I'm telling you, this is tough. This is how they were ready. They was ready for whatever, man. Either to live or to die valiantly, man. Whether they lived, they was living valiantly, man. Whether they died, they was going to die valiantly, man. Standing strong in the Lord. And these are the things that we got to do for the Most High God, man. You want to contend for the faith, you're going to have to do it valiantly. Either while you're living or even all the way up until your death, man. Guess what? Each and every day, that's how you should be living, brothers and sisters. Each and every day, man. He said, stand in business, leaving my family, hardest thing right now, but I tried with them. Just got to stand on business. That's right, man. Hey, you got to stand on business, man. You got to. Because the Most High God wants you to. Your forefathers did these things, and they pleased the Most High God, so you got to do the same thing, man. Verse 35 again. He said when he saw his army put to flight in the manliness of Judah's soldiers and how they were ready either to live or die valiantly, he went into Antiochia, and gathered together a company of strangers, and having made ready his army greater than it was, he proposed to come again to Judea. So guess what, man? He seen them put to flight. He turned around. He finna go back to some more strangers, man, and try to gather even a bigger army. But watch this. It's funny, man. Watch this. Let's go back to chapter 3 and we'll go to verse 18 real quick. Because this is another fight that he fought before this, Judas Maccabees. First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 18. Or I'll start at verse 17. Who when they saw the host coming to meet them, and said unto Judas, how shall we be able, being so few, to fight against so great a multitude, and so strong, seeing we are ready to faint with fasting all this day? So this is another fight they was going into. Guess what? He had another big host of people coming. He said, and they asked, man, how are we gonna be able to fight against them? They got great people. They strong. And look at this. We ready to faint with fasting all this day. Guess what? They hungry. They tired. It said unto whom, watch this, man, verse 18, unto whom Judas answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of a few. Man, I'm telling you, that's one of the hardest things I ever heard, man. He said it's no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of few. Come on now. Come on now. We got literally big mega churches. And you got about 10 and 12 Israelite brothers going hard at the church, man. Shutting up all of them, man. Confounding them with their doctrine, man. We go on these streets and the highways and byways every Sabbath. See many spirits, but we stand bold and we stand on business, man. He said there's no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of few. And it says, and with the God of heaven, it is all one to deliver with a great multitude or a small company. Because guess what? It can either be solved with a legion of angels or it can be solved with 144,000, man. Guess what? 10 brothers, 15 brothers, 20 brothers, man, 200 brothers. It can all be solved by whatever the Most High God sees fit, man. Verse 19, for the victory of the battle standing not in the multitude of an host, but strength coming from heaven. And that's where we got to get our strength from, brothers and sisters. We see these things that's going on in our life, and it'd be hard sometimes. We might get weak and faint. Guess what? We look to other brothers and sisters, but ultimately, guess what? It said, man, that strength come from heaven, man. You got to pray to the Most High God. You got to fast. You got to repent for these things. Allow the Most High God to give you that strength to get back up, to keep going, to, hey, turn around from your wicked ways, to stand on his business now, to not stand on your own ways. These are the things that we got to pray for the Most High God to do. Because that's where the strength coming from, right? Verse 20. They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us, and our wives and children and to spoil us. This is how they coming. Guess what? We know how this is how Esau come every day. However they come at us. This is exactly how they coming at us, with pride and iniquity to destroy us, and our wives and our children. Guess what? They don't only want you. They want your children. They want your wives, man. Guess what? They did that back in slavery, right? They're doing it today, right? Come on now. We gotta connect the dots, man. It said this is how they come to us, right? Verse 21, it says, but we fight for our lives and our laws. That's what we fight for each and every day. We fighting for our lives and our laws, man. It's hard being, guess what, a so-called African-American, so-called Hispanic, man. Guess what, Mexican-American, man. So-called Native American, so-called Jamaican, man. So-called all these Haitians. It's hard to be called these things in this world right now and continue to try to stand strong in the Lord and stand on business. It's hard to even just live, man. Never know when, hey, the next move, right? This is a part of them curses, man. But it said we fight for our lives and our laws. These are the things that we got to fight for. We fight each and every day to be an Israelite. You got to fight every day because brothers falling out the truth, but brothers coming in the truth. And we got to fight for these things, man. We got captains. Guess what? Deacons, often been in the truth 10 plus years. They didn't just come by just waking up. I'm an Israelite. Oh man, let me put my fringes on. Let me read my Bible and let me just go to Sabbath class. No, man. That come with being bold, man. Leading your household, standing strong, man. It's a lifestyle, but we can never get complacent with these things because we in the land of our captivity. That's why we fighting for our lives and our laws. Because when Christ come back and establish that order, we ain't got to fight about nothing no more. The only thing I might fight with, I ain't even going to be fighting with nothing. Because everything going to be, hey, it's given to us. But right now, we got to set this fight, man. This is the condition of the battle. According to 2 Ezra 7:56. That which man is born on earth must fight. Whether you pass it or you not, man. These are the things that we have to do, man. Verse 22, watch this. It says, wherefore the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face. And as for you, be not afraid of them. Man, I'm telling you, Judas, man, has some mighty words for these things, for brothers and sisters that's faint, man. These is good reads, man, to see how strong and bold your forefathers was with these things. Now let's go back to 1 Maccabees chapter 4. We're going to read 36. It says, then said Judas and his brethren, behold, our armies are discomfited. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary. Upon this, all the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Zion. Man, I'm telling you, man. It said, see, even after all this fighting, after all the things that they done did, right? Then it said, Judas and his brethren, behold, it said, our enemies are discomfited. Man, they defeated, right? But it said, hey, let us go back up and let's go dedicate the sanctuary, man. We know Feast of Dedication is one of our last big things coming up the rest of this year, man. Feast of Dedications. These are the things we got to dedicate ourselves back to the Lord. Staying strong and bold in the Lord. Guess what? They were strong physically in the Most High God. Now they're going to be strong physically, man, by going and rededicating the temple, man. The things pleasing to the Most High God and to his son, man. That's why they went back up to Mount Zion, man. And I'm telling you, that is tough, man. That is tough. You can read on down on that. That is a great read, man. See, I put in there Luke 2:49. So good. I be forgetting who B Branch is. Is that you, Captain Benaniyah, or is that brother Captain Jerubbaal? I forgot who it is. Man, you got my dang precept, man. Whichever one, man. That was one of my last precepts, man. I'm gonna go ahead and read it though. The book of St. Luke, chapter 2, verse 49. And he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Wish ye not that I must be about my Father's business, man? And I'm telling you, that's tough, man. Christ, man, hey, as a young man, he said, man, I'll be about my Father's business. Well, I'm going to get to it later, man. I got to get to it. I'm going to read down on the story a little bit. Man, he said, I'm about my Father's business. And that's how we all should be coming into this truth, man. Be about your Father's business. Guess what? We had a legacy with our father. Guess what? Our earthly fathers down here. We seen what they did. Guess what? They were the mechanic. I want to be a mechanic just like my dad. Oh, my dad a businessman. I want to be a businessman like my dad. Guess what? Even some people who daddy wasn't nothing. I'm going to be just like nothing like my pops. They did that. But now coming to the truth, man, you got to stand bold and do your Father's business. The Most High God, man. He wanted you to keep his law, statute, commandments, and contest against the wicked and stand bold as a lion, man. These are things he wanted. Okay, Cap, shalom, man. But yeah, man, like we got to stand bold, stand on our Father's business, man. That's tough, man. Let's get a little bit about King David now. They were talking about King David. Let's go ahead and go get a little bit about King David. Let's go to 1 Samuel, chapter 17, man. I know I'm doing a lot of reading, man, but it was just on my spirit, man. It was on the heavy to kind of bring out this class because, you know, the things that's coming upon this world is real overbearing right now. Guess what? All the wars and rumors of wars, like I said earlier, guess what? It's a lot of spirits been lingering around, man, trying to attack brothers and sisters, man. And this is the time that we got to know we got to stand strong in the Lord. Guess what? Our weakest times, right? We were made strong. Matter of fact, go get that real quick. Salakia, Israel. Let me see if I can get what I want. I said Peter. Salakia. Here you go. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4. Chapter 4 and verse 12. The book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. It says, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. These are the things that's going to try us, man. The trials and tribulations that you go through in this world. Guess what? The lust that you might fight. Guess what? The hate, anger, envy, strife that you might fight. These are the things that's here to try you, man, to purify you. Because we know when we get in that wilderness, hey, it ain't going to be too much trying right there, man. This is a righteous rehearsal that we got to do now. According to Judges 5 and 11, right? Verse 13, it says, But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Guess what, Judas, when he was going through the things, when his people seen the host and the multitude came up, man, they seen that as a problem. Man, Judas seen it as a thing to let the Most High God show his work, man. Let him work for you, man. You keep his law, statute, commandments, man, and you pray, you let the Most High God work. And that's going to be our law for today, man. Exodus 14 and 14, man. Let the Lord fight for you, man. Hold your peace. It's a lot of times and guess what? All the arguments and all the things that go on with brothers and sisters, it can be solved if you just hold your peace. It's okay to be quiet. The scriptures tell you that. The scriptures literally tell you that. To study to be quiet. Why? Let's go to First Thessalonians. Chapter 4, verse 11, real quick. The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 4, verse 11. It says that you study to be quiet and to do your own business. Come on now. It says that you study to be quiet and to do your own business. Because a lot of these things can be solved, man. A lot of these things can be solved if you just let the Lord fight for you. Guess what? Don't worry about what the next brother and sister got going, who they talking to, what they doing this, how they doing. Man, you worried about getting your salvation, man. Worried about picking up the next brother and sister, exhorting one another. That's how you stand strong in the Lord. Because when you're not standing strong in the Lord, guess what you're going off? You're doing your own works, man. And when it says to do your own business, that means, hey, worry about yourself, man. Don't be more worried about somebody else and what they got going and what's the gospel about this and gospel about that. Worry about the Most High God and what he commanded you. Worry about your lot first. Then you can try to help. Come on now. These are the things that we got to do, man. And it says, and to work with your own hands as we commanded you, right? And I'm telling you, man, these are the things that is going to be here to try us, man. All the things that's in this world is here to try you. Whether you be strong in the faith or whether you fall off. It's all here to try you. Whether you pass the test, that's completely on you. Because the Most High God going to always give you a way out. According to 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, right? Let's go to that 1 Samuel now, man. We're going to go to chapter 17. We're going to start at verse 4. The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 4. And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. So this is a big man, a big old African. His name was Goliath, right? Verse 5, and he had a helmet of brass upon his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass. So I'll tell you, man, he was a big dude. He had a big old, guess what, a big old brass helmet, big old coat. Guess what, so heavy, guess what, an average brother couldn't even walk around with it, man. And it says, and he said, verse 6, and he had greaves of brass upon his legs, and a target of brass between his shoulders. Man, I'm talking about he was brassed out, man. Brass is really heavy. So this is a big, strong African, right? Verse 7, and the staff of his spear was like unto weaver's beam, and his spear's head weighed 600 shekels of iron, and one bearing a shield went before him. So, man, it's breaking down Goliath as this big, tall, bold, guess what, bad dude, man. Just crazy, right? Verse 8, and he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel and said unto them, why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am I not a Philistine, and your servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. Man, he said, man, hey, go call y'all somebody down here for me. He said, am I not a Philistine? Come on now. He like, he kind of standing bold. He said, man, I'm a Philistine, man. Go get you somebody for me, right? It says, verse 9, it says, if ye be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall ye be our servants and serve us. Man, that's some bold stuff to say. You got a whole army behind you. He said, man, you kill me, you can have all these people. They're going to serve you. But if I kill you, I'm taking everything. That's a real bold, hey, that's a bold statement, man. But guess what? He had the size and everything to back it up, right? He was a champion, so he already had won many fights before these things. That's all he did. A big, tall wrecking machine, right? Let's go to verse, where did I just leave off at? Salakia. Verse 10, and the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. When Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistine, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. Man, so guess what? When the children of Israel heard these words, man, it kind of struck fear into them. They got a little fear in their chest. They're like, oh man, look at this dude. He tall, he big, he got all this dang, got his brass on. He got this spear. Man, he look crazy. Ain't he loud and bold and talking like that? Oh man, we scared, right? Verse 12, it says, now David was the son of an Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons. And the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. We jump down to 23. Jump down to 23. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them. So guess what, man? They went back down to the war. Guess what? They went down to guess what? He went down there. Guess what? Saul and them went down there. David was over there. He left his courage and everything. You read on down. So, hey, Goliath said the same thing he said earlier. He said it right then, right? But this time David heard him because David was there. He was there. And it says, verse 24, and all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him and were so afraid. So all the Israelites that was right there at battle, they seen how big Goliath was and ran off, right? Verse 25, and the men of Israel said, have ye seen this man that has come up? Man, you know that's Israel, man. Man, have you seen this nigga? This nigga big, bro. I don't know. What they say on, what he say on, what's the Bad Boys? He said, how old is you? He said, 16. Nigga, you look 30. I'm telling you, that it was huge. Goliath was a huge dude, man. He was huge. You said Goliath was from Cush. I didn't know that. All praises. I thought he was an Ishmael. Oh, no. Philistines was ancient Africans, man. It was just a big old tall African. Even think about today, like, think about them Manute Bowls and them Bowls and all of them. The Kembe Mutombo, all of them, like, they real tall and lanky. They couldn't move for nothing. They're not that athletic. Picture if we had a Manute Bowl, but he was like Judah. He was moving like Magic Johnson or something, They just ain't got it. They just real tall and big people, right? But I'm going to read that again. But verse 25, and the men of Israel said, have ye seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. Man, he was like, man, anybody who kill him, man, he finna get all this stuff, man. And he said, and David spake to the man that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God? Man, David was bold, man. Think about it. David was a young man at this time, man. Man, he said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God? Because, hey, we know the Philistines, they got a fake God, man. A dead God that does not move, don't talk. That's what we went through in Camp 101 today, man. They don't do anything, man. But we got the living God. Somebody, hey, guess what? If we pray to him, it's going to happen. If we Exodus 14 and 14, we actually going to see something happen, man. We pray to the Lord God of our fathers, something's going to happen. We keep these law, statute, commandments, something's going to happen, man. It's bound to happen. Let's read on. Verse 27. And the people answered him after this manner, saying, surely shall be done to the man that killeth him. So these are the things that he was saying, man. Man, I gotta keep reading on. Was gonna stop and jump down, but let's keep reading. And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men, and Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, why camest thou down hither? And with whom hast thou left these few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. So his older brother thought he was just came down there to be nosy, to talk a good game, to be loud. He said, I know your pride. He said, man, so you left the sheep to come over here and this, you said, oh, you didn't want to come watch the fight. You want to come watch us lose. That's kind of how the spirit was. He said, and David said, what have I now done? Is there not a cause? He was like, man, what did I do? He said, I just came down here, man. He said, I'm asking these people, man. He said, what is this damn uncircumcised Philistine? What are you going to get? And guess what? Somebody going to kill him. What are we going to get, right? It says, and he turned from him towards another and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner. And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. So they went and told Saul. Saul said, all right, come bring David to me, right? Verse 32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. Man, he said, hey, don't let nobody else go. I'm finna go get him. I'm gonna go kill a Philistine. Man, that's some bold things to say, man. Guess what, as a man, when you see all these other grown men fleeing from battle, guess what, not standing on things? Guess what, like even our brother said, your whole family. Guess what, they ain't following after the Most High God, man. They ain't reading this Bible like as it is written. But now here you go. I'm going to be the one to read it right. I'm going to be the one to keep the law, statute, commandments. I'm going to be the one to wear my fringes and be proud of these things and stand strong in the Lord and stand on his business. It's you. Guess what? It's you, brother. It's you, sister. That's standing bold in the face of the Lord now, man. Standing bold against your oppressors. Come on now. We don't even call them oppressors no more, man. We call them slaves. Standing bold from your slaves, man. These are the things that man, this is how David was acting, man. It wasn't no pride about it. It wasn't no naughtiness in his heart. Guess what? Because if you jump back, he said, man, he said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? He said that he should come to defy the armies of the living God. He just standing bold for his God, man. He didn't come make no drama, make no mess. He came to stand bold for the Most High God. I'm going to jump back down, man. Verse 33, and Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against the Philistine, to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. Guess what he mean? He said, man, hey, David, man, you ain't nothing but a little kid, bro. He been killing people since he was a kid. He a grown man. He been doing this. And he said, and David said unto Saul, thy servants kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Man, I'm telling you, that's some strong stuff to do, man. You smite a lion. The lion get back up and bowl out of there, and you gonna grab him by his beard? Come on now. How many brothers and sisters say they can grab a lion by his beard, man, and smote him and kill him, man? As a youth, not even as a grown man, as a youth, man. Man, come on now. Verse 36, thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he have defied the armies of the living God. You see that every time he mentioned that uncircumcised Philistine, and every time he stand about defeating him, he always saying because he defied the armies of the living God, man. He's showing you why he got to do it. He's showing you his purpose, why he's standing on business, why he doing what he's doing, man. Verse 37, David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and the Lord be with thee. See, because David brought all this back down to say that the Lord did these things, man. The Lord delivered him out of the paw of the lion. The Lord delivered him out of the paw of the bear. And he said, hey, surely the Lord going to deliver him at the hand of this damn Philistine, man. Guess what? The Lord brought you out of this world. The Lord gave you the law, statutes, commandments. The Lord going to ultimately be the one that, hey, bring you salvation again. But is you going to stand bold and strong in the Lord and stand on his business to get these things? That's up to you, man. These are the things we got to do pleasing to the Most High God. King David, man, guess what? Judas, Maccabees, they understood the things what they had to do. And they stood bold in these things, man. Read on. Matter of fact, let me jump down. I'm going to jump down to 42 now. It says, and when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth and ruddy and of a fair countenance. So guess what, man? When that damn Philistine seen David, he was like, damn, look at this, look at this little boy. He said, oh, he was ruddy, he was a little light skinned, little pretty boy, right? Because that's fair countenance, right? And he said, and the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. Man, I'm telling you. Because, David came with a damn sling and some stones. He said, man, am I a dog? Is that why you came with just that? Man, he said, man, forget that. I'm finna curse you by my God. So guess what? Man, that damn Philistine going hard, cursing him in the name of his gods. Man, that's crazy, man. Damn, blasphemy, right? Verse 44, and Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. Then David said to the Philistine, thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. Man, I'm talking about David was in the spirit with that thing, man. Why? Watch this. Let's go to Psalms, man. Chapter 119, verse 165, man. David was in the spirit with that thing, man. David could have flashed out. He could have said a whole lot of things. He could have got out of the spirit. He could have said some out of his own words. Because guess what, man? The damn Philistine was going hard. He said, man, you come up to me, I'm gonna feed your flesh to the birds of the air, man. I'm gonna leave you for the scavengers. Talking hard. Guess what? Curse him to his God. All these things. But David said, okay. You're going to come to me with your swords, with your spear, and a shield. He said, you can come with all that carnal stuff. He said, but I come in the name of the Lord, man. Come on now. Watch this, man. The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 165. Great peace have they which love thy law. Because guess what? Great peace have all of the Israelites who keep the law, man. And it says, and nothing shall offend them. Read that again, man. Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. Nothing's going to, hey, guess what? No matter what a brother say, no matter what a sister say, no matter how the world may treat you, as long as you got to keep these laws, man, you're going to have great peace, and nothing's going to ever offend you, man. Guess what? We got a lot of junior ox. Guess what? That's dealing with things that's in this world. Guess what? Whether it been trying to be cool, trying to be like their partners, trying to be like their homegirls, seeing how they doing, seeing how they dress, seeing how they act. But we got to show them this great peace that we have by keeping the law. That way, when they see these things, when they say, mama, daddy, why are they doing this to me? Guess what? Now they ain't going to ask you that question no more. Because they ain't nothing going to offend them no more, man. They're going to stand bold to want to be a children of the Most High God. And not just be some damn nigga or no damn nigga woman, man. We're going to want to stand bold for what we got to now. We tired of doing the things that I guess what our forefathers did, our forefathers did, right? And carnally, man. We tired of what our grandpa and grandparents did, man. They failed us. But it's up to us now. We keep the law, statutes, commandments. He gives us peace and nothing's going to offend us. Now you can be like, she'll be like, hey, I know I'm a princess of the Most High God. Or I know I'm a king to the Most High God. These fringes right here, that might look goofy to you. But Zephaniah 1 and 8, man, go read up on it. See, these are things that's not going to offend us. David could have said something way different. But I'm going to read it again. 1 Kings 17. Chapter 17, man, verse 45. It said, then David said to the Philistine, thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield. He said, man, you come to me. I'm a little kid. You come to me with a sword, with a spear, and a shield. He says, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. Because that's what we supposed to be coming for, man. Anytime we hit the streets, anytime we walking anywhere, anytime we out in this world, that's what we got to be coming in the name of, man. I don't come in the name of Donovan. Guess what? Captain Benaniyah don't come in the name of Captain Benaniyah, man. He come in the name of the Lord, man. Guess what? All you brothers and sisters come in the name of the Lord. That's how we should be coming. That's how we get our boldness, man. That's how we stand on business, by coming strong in the Lord, man. It says verse 47. No, matter of fact, Salaki. Verse 46. This day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee and take thine head from thee. Man, I'm telling you, man, David was bold. For him to be a small little light-skinned boy like how they portrayed him as. He said, man, he said, the Lord he said, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to take your head, man. That's really, hey, somebody said, I'm going to take your head off your shoulders. He literally said, hey, I'm going to take your head off your shoulders, man. And he says, and I will give thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. Guess what? He wasn't doing that for himself, man. And Philistine said, I'm going to be the one to do this. I'm going to be the one to leave your stuff like that. He said, nah, I'm going to do this just so everybody can know that there's only one true God, the God of Israel, right? Verse 47, and all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. Man, he's showing you these things, man. He said, hey, let all these people know that the Lord ain't going to save me with a sword and spear, man. We're not getting out of our captivity trying to fight our way out like that, brothers and sisters. We know 2 Corinthians 10 and 14, man. Our weapons are not carnal, man, but spiritual. By fighting on these streets each and every week, by sisters being in order each and every week, by brothers and sisters conflicting and challenging their spirit, beating their flesh each and every week. That's how you stand strong in the Lord and stand on business. That's how we're going to get out of this captivity, man. And David tell you that, man. It's not with sword and with spears, man. It says, for the battle is the Lord's, man. And he will give you into our hands. Read on. And David put his hands in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead. And the stone sunk into his forehead. And he fell upon the face of the earth, fell upon his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David. There was nothing in David's hand, man, but the damn stone, man. Oh, Salakia, 1 Samuel. Hey, all praise, man. Thank you for catching me in 1 Samuel, man. We're reading in 1 Samuel chapter 17. We just finished at 50. Salakia, man. 1 Samuel, verse 17, and we're going to start back at verse 51. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine, and took his sword, and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him, and cut off his head therewith. Man, he used his sword to cut off his head, man. In front of all his folks, man. And cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled, man. It says, and the men of Israel and of Judah arose and shouted and pursued the Philistines until thou come to the valley into the gates of Ekron, and wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way to Sharim, even unto Gath and unto Ekron. So now they got all the energy, man. Guess what? Now y'all done beat the main dude. Now we all coming. They all shouting. Let's go kill them all now. Man, come on now. That's tough, man, what he did, man. That is tough, man. Matter of fact, let me jump down now. Let's go to verse 54. And it says, David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem, but he put his armor in his tent. And when Saul saw David go forth against the Philistine, he said unto Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is this youth? And Abner said, as thy soul liveth, O king, I cannot tell. And the king said, inquire thou whose son this stripling is. Man, so Saul was like, damn, whose son is this, boy? This son that went and cut off this damn giant's head. Now he got it with him. You know, went against this Philistine and won. I gotta know who this is, right? And David returned from the slaughter of the Philistine. Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the head of a Philistine in his hand. And Saul said to him, whose son art thou, thou young man? And David answered, I am the son of thy servant Jesse, the Bethlehemite. Man, I'm telling you, hey, that was tough, man. That was tough. But this show you just one of the small things David did, not by himself, not with sword or spear, but from the Most High God, man. He was willing to stand this bold as a youth for the Most High God. How much more as us being older? Guess what? Older than age, seeing what the world and how wicked it is. Try to stand bold in the Lord and stand on business, man. Let's go ahead and get this last precept. Capt Benaniyah already kind of pulled it for me, man. But let's go to Luke, man, chapter 2. Chapter 2, man. I know I read a lot, man. This would just have to be one of them type of classes just because to show the boldness of the Most High God and what he did for us. As long as we continue to keep his laws, statutes, commandments. I'll go to St. Luke chapter 2, verse 40. And the child grew and waxed strong in the spirit, filled with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of Passover. Guess what? They kept the laws back then too. Guess what? It's a commandment to keep the Passover, and they kept it, right? And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. I'm going to drop down to verse 47. No, verse 46. And it came to pass that after 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. So guess what, man? Christ done wandered off. Joseph and his mother was looking for him. They couldn't find him, right? So they was seeking him out. They said after 3 days, they found him with the doctors. He was listening to him and asking them questions, right? And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. They were stuck. They're like, man, how does this little kid know all this stuff, man? And he was 12 years old doing all this. It says, verse 48. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee, sorrowing. Mama like, man, why you do this to me? I've been sitting here looking for you for 3 days. Baby, I've been looking for you. It's Thanksgiving. It's Christmas. It's New Year's. It's your birthday. Where you at? We've been looking for you. Where you at, Donovan? Come back to the party. Where you at, Donovan? Come back to the world. Come on. Where you been? We've been looking for you. And he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? It said, how is it that you looking for me? It said, wish ye not that I must be about my father's business. Man, I'm telling you, man, Christ, man, was bold as a young man. As a young man, he said, I must be about my father's business, man. You're not going to see me on Thanksgiving. You're not going to see me on Christmas. You damn sure not going to see me on my birthday. Because I'm about my father's business. My father said them pagan days, man. My father said I wear fringes. My father said I keep the Sabbath on Saturday, man. My father said I go to the highways and byways and contend for the faith. That's what my father's business is. So you're not going to see me where you want to be at or where you comfortable with being at. I'm right there where I need to be. I'm strong in the Lord. And I'm going to let him guide me to the end, man. And it says, verse 50, and they understood not the saying which he spake unto them. Why? Because they just truly didn't understand it, man. He said, they were like, how you about your father's business and your father been looking for you? He wasn't talking about his earthly father, man. Talking about his father in heaven. It's tough, man. That's tough, man. I'm going to read 52. And Yahushua increased in wisdom and stature in favor with God and man. And with that, man, we're going to say shalom, man. All present brothers and sisters that tuned in, man, that stuck with me. I know it was a kind of a long class, and I know it was a lot of reading. I hope brothers and sisters didn't get tired, man. But, man, we just got to start standing bold in the Lord, man. Bring out a couple stories of showing our forefathers standing bold in the Lord, contending for the faith, standing on his business, man, doing the will, doing the things that's pleasing to him. Because and guess what? We know their rewards. We know Judas' reward. We knew King David's reward. We knew, hey, we all know Christ's reward. It was the kingdom. These are the things that we got to look forward to. As long as we continue to stand bold in the Lord, all these things will be open to us, right? Here at the man, thank you in your congregation. Across all Israel, man, fast and praying, repenting so we can get home. We see the things that the world's shaping up to be. We got to keep doing these things if we want to make it home, right? But here at the Battle Axes, man, we always finish with a law, man. The law for today, I said it earlier. It's going to be Exodus chapter 14, verse 14, man. Exodus chapter 14, verse 14. And I got a little better, y'all. My class got a little bit earlier. I'm trying to keep on trying to do it, man. All praise to the Most High. You know, all praise to the Most High. I said something last week about it, and guess what? Most High God put it on my spirit. Just, hey, start working on it. But we got to be led in the spirit, man. We can no longer walk in this flesh, right? This is the law for today. The book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Read that one more time, man. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Hey, man, let the Lord fight for you. You stand strong in the Lord, and you stand on business, and watch what the Lord would do for you, man. Watch what he'll let his angels go out and do for you each and every day. Guess what? You stand strong in the Lord all the way to the end, like how it's saying in Matthew chapter 24, verse 13, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just make sure before I quote it, man. Guess what? Matthew chapter 24. Yeah, Matthew chapter 24, verse 13, man. You stand bold and you endure to the end. And not only his angels, but watch what he sent his only begotten son to come do for you. If you stand strong in the Lord and you stand bold, man, and you stand on business, man. And with that, man, we're going to say shalom, man.